Hey guys, it's Joette with BalloonCoach.com, and today I'm recording this on May 15th, 2022. And our topic tonight is, do you feel deflated? Are you overworked, underworked, and it's time to get out of that rut? All right, so the thing that I'm asking for all the people who are watching us live is to type into the chat box and let me know, where are you at? Are you overworked or are you underworked? And how is that feeling, right? Because I will address both sides of that. But I want to go through quickly and give you guys 5 steps for getting out of a rut. And then what we'll do is we'll go into specific studies. So for those of you who are on with me, if you want to come on live and say, hey, here's my situation, how can we get through it? Then we'll mastermind through it and give you some help to get through those actionable steps. All right. So the number one thing is I want to make sure you guys know that you're not alone. No matter if you feel overworked or underworked, there are other balloon professionals right in that same boat with you, or those of us who've been through it, because I've been both highs and lows. I remember those days where I was begging for more work to come in, and those other days that I was like, man, I can't handle anymore. I've got to cut back. And that burnout that is there is real. All right. And so that's why I want to say, if you're feeling deflated, you're a human being. It happens. So let's figure out a plan to help you take the next step. So grab yourself a piece of paper and a pen and write down these 5 steps. The 5 steps for getting out of a rut. The number one is to acknowledge that you're in a rut and you need to make changes. Have you ever been in a vehicle or seen a car that slid off the side of the road and stuck in the mud? And if they just sit there and spin the tires, they're not going to go anywhere. And instead, they're going to just kick up mud and they're going to dig deeper into the dirt. I had this happen when I was in college. I was with a friend of mine on spring break by my dad's house, and they decided to go through some orange groves. So Linda Perry, you probably can relate to this or have seen somebody do it. And my friend decided to go into the orange grove where you're not supposed to be, kept on driving, and the car just kept getting buried deeper and deeper in the sand, right? So rather than just stopping and getting help, he was trying to just keep going, right? And that wasn't going to work. All right. So please don't keep just spinning your tires. All right. If you are frozen because you have some type of anxiety or depression, I want to make sure you understand to reach out for help. All right. I used to be a mental health counselor, not like a certified counselor or anything like that. I'm not a psychologist, but I have mental health training. And I know that depression is real, anxiety is real. There are people who have many different fears and have to have the assistance of therapy or medication to help them through those situations. There are a lot of people who've experienced loss over the last couple of years, from family members to child members to people they care about going through big, bold things. And so if you are experiencing full on anxiety or depression, I want to remind you to reach out for help. All right. Whether it's talking to a friend or a counselor, or send me a private message or an email, joette@ballooncoach.com. I keep your information private and I will help you find support. All right. So please understand the other part of it. If you're just kind of borderline and you're just having a funk and it's not like clinical depression, but you just feel not motivated, then put activities in your life that bring you comfort, peace, and joy. And sometimes it takes a little bit of work to identify that, and later on we'll do that. But I want you to write that down, that if you're a person that is experiencing some type of depression, then the homework for you is to put activities in your life that bring you comfort, peace, and joy. And by the end of this evening, I want you to identify what those things are. All right? All right. The next step on acknowledging that you're in a rut is that so many times people tell me that they feel like they're on that hamster wheel, that they're so excited, they've got new business coming in, but they're running faster and faster than ever, but they're not getting where they want to go because they're stuck doing the exact same thing over and over again. Many times as solo entrepreneurs, this happens is that we are so busy running our business and wearing every single hat that it feels like there is no escape other than running faster to keep the money coming in. So if you feel like you're just running faster and faster and faster and there's no way out, then it's time to step out of that wheel. And tonight is that first step to identify what are the next steps we can take rather than just continue to try to run faster, because at some point we're going to experience burnout and not be able to go farther. All right. So that's fun. All right. So, number 2, what you need to do is go back to the basics and define your why. Why was it that you originally started your balloon business? All right. Was it that you have a certain amount of income that you need to create? And so, what I want you to do is I want you to write that number down right now. I need to earn $2,000 a month in my pocket. Okay. I'm not asking you to give me what your sales are for the month, but I want you to look at what is that goal that you financially need to make sure that your electricity stays on and you've got food for you and your family. How much money is it that you need to put in your pocket every month? Remind yourself that, right? And then did you get into the balloon business because you wanted time freedom? That was me. I was working in corporate America and I was ticked that my boss, I would come in on a Monday and they'd say, "Oh, we've decided that you no longer work Monday through Friday, but you're going to work on the weekends and you're going to work on Sundays," which was a very sacred day for our family, for us to go to church and have time together with our friends and our family and worship. And they decided that they were just going to change my schedule on a whim. So one of the reasons I wanted to be a business owner was to have time freedom and for me to decide when I worked. All right. So the other thing I want you to look at is, was it that you decided that you wanted to be a balloon business owner because you just enjoy making balloons? And if that's the case, do you still enjoy making them at the level that you're currently doing it? Is it that you did it as a creative outlet? And there's a list of 5,000 other reasons why people get into the balloon industry. So for you on your number 3, if you're in a rut, I need you to write down, what is your why? Why do you own your balloon business? What were those main reasons that you started this business, whether it was 5 days ago or 5 decades ago? Why is it you have that balloon business, and what do you want from your business? And while you're writing that, I'm going to share a little bit of a story. When I started my business in 2003, I took over an existing balloon business. My daughter was 4 years old, and I wanted to be that perfect at-home mom to hang out with her, have a flexible schedule, and have dinner ready for my husband, who was a teacher, when he got home. But the burnout started to happen when I was working 60 to 80 hours a week on a regular basis because my business had grown and boomed. And I didn't know how to say the word no. And I just kept working harder and harder. And my daughter had to go to daycare because I couldn't have her at home with me because I had too many business accounts during the day and clients that I needed to talk to. And then there was a point at which I wasn't enjoying making the balloons as much because it was a chore rather than being creative and something I enjoy. All right. So sharing all of those pieces, that the reasons that I got into the business isn't exactly what was happening, because I wasn't personally setting limits. I wasn't saying no, and I was forgetting why I got into the business in the first place. So I want you to really make sure that you write down this why. Why do you own a balloon business? Because that's going to be important as we go through this process tonight for you to make your action plan. So number 3 to get out of a rut is to write down SMART goals that lead to your why. All right. So if you're doing this for financial freedom and that you have family debt of $20,000 that you need to pay off, then what you're going to do is simply look at that and go, okay, I've got $20,000 that I need to pay off. That means I need to do X number of jobs a month for so many years and I'll have that debt paid off. Or, you know what? I need to pay for my daughter to be in college, and that's going to cost me X number of dollars a month. So my job is to earn that amount of money for her to be in college. Or it could be that I need to pay the car bill or the phone bill, or my overhead expenses for living and supporting myself is $5,000. Whatever it is, take those items and make them a specific goal. So what a SMART goal is, it means that it's specific and it's direct and detailed. It's measurable so that you know what it happens. Like, I need to have X number of dollars by June 1st, or that I need to have X number of events by December 31st. Attainable means it's realistic. Don't say that you're a brand new business and that you expect to earn $400,000 a year in your first year as a balloon business, because I don't know anyone who has done that. All right. So you want to make sure that it's attainable. Then relevant. Does it actually make sense to your mission? So if you started your business because you wanted to have time with your family, especially on weekends, to go to church on Sundays, then part of your goals needs to be that you have Sundays off and that you don't work Sundays, all right? Or that you find somebody else to do it for you. And then time based, always put a time to those goals, all right? So as we're trying to get out of this rut, we're going to look at why we got in the business. We are going to set up SMART goals, and then we are going to identify support to take action. So many times, business owners, especially creative people in the balloon industry, think that they have to do everything themselves. Spoiler alert, there is no way on God's green earth that you can do everything needed to do for your balloon business on your own. It's humanly impossible. All right. Everybody needs some type of help because we are not wired to do everything it takes to be a business owner. We try. We get mad at our clients who are DIY people, right? As a balloon business owner, one of our biggest pet peeves is when somebody calls us up and says, "Oh, I went online and I bought my balloons already. Can you inflate them for me?" We get so mad. But you know what? We try to make our own websites when we have no technical knowledge, or we try to take care of all of our bookkeeping even though we hate math and paperwork, or we try to answer all of our phone calls even though we don't like talking on the phone, or we try to take care of all of our invoicing even though we don't like paperwork, or we have medical issues that makes it hurt our bodies when we're tying a bunch of balloons, but we don't get somebody else to tie the balloons for us. Do you see where I'm going with this? So just like we get upset with other people DIYing part of their decor and then having us come in for the rescue, we have to take on that same idea within our balloon boss mindset and then step out of thinking we have to do it all on our own and understand that being a business owner is about leadership and that we have to identify the training that's out there and the support that is out there to help us take our business to the next level. So a couple of resources I want to give you guys is there's a thing called score.org, SCORE.org. They have great online training, and in many areas they offer free training on different areas. So some of the stuff that you do want to learn and take care of yourself, they can help you with that, but they also can put you in touch with other people locally who might be able to be a bookkeeper for you, or somebody who might be able to be a part-time person to answer the phone. You can reach out to temp agencies to help get people to work for you when right now it's so hard to find employees. You can reach out to BalloonCoach and you can be a part of our Balloon Boss Mastermind program. You can come to my summer tour. You can come to our seminar in Orlando for Balloon Boss Summit, and you can network with other balloon professionals. Let me reiterate that. The power of networking with other balloon professionals as a solo balloon business owner allows you to sometimes just say no. You know what? No, I'm not going to travel 3 hours to do this job. Instead, I'm going to refer you to my friend that lives in that city. All right? No, I'm not available this weekend, but here's a list of 2 other companies that I know service the area and will take great care of you. When we say no, it allows us to say yes to other things. So you, my friend, as a business owner, network with other people who can help you say no when you need to say no and help you say yes when you want to say yes and can help you out for those big events. Turn to your family and friends and just be honest with them. You know what, guys? Running this balloon business means a ton to me. And homecoming, prom, graduation, end of school year is crazy busy. If you could just pitch in and help me out for this next 60 days or this next 30 days, I would greatly appreciate it. If you can just work with me as needed. All right. The thing was, the way that Party People was able to grow is that I was able to say, you know what? I can't be everything to everyone and I need help. And so people from my church, a husband and a wife and their 2 kids, would go be part of our prom crew. People that I met at American Businesswomen's Association, other networking groups told me, Joette, we'd love to work with you and help you out from time to time when you're busy. We'd love being creative and fun, and it would be cool to come hang out on a job for you. You know what? I kept their name and number on my phone, and I called on them when I needed it. So family and friends is where you've got to go to if you're not being able to find other employees to work for you. All right. Or bottom line is you got to learn to say no. If you're feeling overwhelmed, stressed out, and burnt out, it's okay to take care of yourself and just say no and take a week off or a day off or 4 hours off and cut those limits when you need to, or you'll get to a point where you'll just throw in the towel and not do any of it anymore. All right. So I'm giving you permission to say the word no. Um, and then when you can, identify the support systems that can help you out to take the next step. All right. And then number 5, to get out of a rut, is you put this plan in place and then you review things every single month to see where you're at. So many people put a plan into action. They write down a vision board, they create goals, but they don't go back and check on them. And here's why this is important. I know many of you in April, because of our Balloon Boss Mastermind program, many of you guys are on tonight. In our Balloon Boss Mastermind program, we had people doing their first $2,000 months, their first $5,000 month, their first $10,000 month, and one person even had done a $75,000 month in April. And people were talking about being overwhelmed with how much work that was and how many things, were easy to get overlooked. So when you're in that situation, now let's look at that. Do you need to be that busy? When you go back to the first part of your why you got into your balloon business and what your goals are for your business, do you need to have $75,000 of sales in a month? Or would it be okay to have half of that, right? Do you need $10,000 a month? Or could you be okay with $5,000 in sales? Well, $5,000 in sales with the way you've got your profit margin set up allow you to make the income you need. You may only need $500 a month from your balloon business. Do not compare yourself to other people. The only person to compare yourself is you last month. All right. So for those of you who are in my mastermind program, you know that the first Monday of every month, we do the Thrive Guide. And what it is, it's looking at what your goals were for last month and did you reach them? And then if you did reach them, what were your expenses? What was your income? Are you putting money in your pocket? Because if you're not putting money in your pocket, then you need to raise your prices or do some other procedures with your business, right? And then look at it and go, you know what? Maybe it is time for me to slow down a little bit. Maybe I don't need to build up as big as I have. Or if you're not reaching your goals and you're not there yet, then what are those systems that you need to put in place to make them happy? All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this inspiration for success up, and then I'm going to look at our chat to see the people who are overwhelmed and the people that are overworked and the people who are underworked. All right. Here's the thing. There's a book author that I really love. Her name's Jen Sincerno. I don't know if I'm saying her name right or not, but she wrote the book, You Are a Badass. And then she wrote the book, You're a Badass at Making Money. And then there's another one that You're a Badass Every Day, I think. I haven't read that one yet. But the bottom line that I like about Jen is she's pretty direct when she is doing her audibles. I listen to it on Audible. And the first book was given to me by my friend Diana Gladden. And it basically helps you with your confidence and about putting things in perspective. And in all of these things that we do, it's all about our mindset. If you think you can or think you can't, you're right, right? We always talk about that one from Henry Ford. What I love here about Jen is she says, if you're serious about changing your life, you'll find a way. If you're not, you'll find an excuse. And I did that for the last year, right? I put on the brakes on my weight loss and I put on an excuse of, I just don't need to do that right now. And the results are I've gained some weight back, right? With my balloon business, I sometimes made an excuse that no one else can do the balloons as good as me. All right. I would say no one else can help my clients as well as I can. And that was an excuse for me not stepping up and being a leader and training somebody. And so then when I learned from other people in the balloon industry that, you know what, you can teach other people to inflate and tie balloons. You can trust other people to take your vehicle and deliver the balloons to your client on time, but you just have to put the systems in place for that to happen. So I want to encourage you guys that you write those 5 things down and actually make your plan and see, like, okay, for those of you who currently are telling me you're overwhelmed and that you've got so much going on, what's the area that's overwhelming you and how do you need to get help? All right. So I want you to write that down and feel free to type it into the chat. If you're currently overworked, who is it that you could reach out to help you out? All right. So I'm watching this. Let's see. One of the questions is, how do you train them? Great question. Part of it is having recipes for people to follow, and it's writing things down. So one of the great tips I got many, many years ago is to record yourself doing things. You can just put up a tripod and a camera and record yourself doing things and explaining why you do what you do, and then they can watch the video. And then you can actually pay them to transcribe it for you to then write the steps down so they now know what is expected. Um, I'm looking back over what people are saying that they're, I feel overworked and I feel like it's because I need to streamline our orders. Yeah. Sometimes we have to make things, we have to take more time to set up systems to then save time in the future. So one of those great systems is to put a customer management system into place. Some of the top ones that balloon professionals use is called Dubsado, 17 Hats, and Honeybook. Any of those systems, and there's others out there, all pro web tools, setting those up, having those canned responses of the emails and the procedures that you have people go through will help you save time over time. Another one is feeling like they need better time management. So one of the things that I encourage people to do is, when you're looking at your schedule, is sometimes to have an actual written calendar. I know we like to put a lot of stuff onto digital these days, but they say that when you have an actual paper calendar that you can look at, you're able to kind of see what your schedule looks like for the week and where there might be holes in your schedule where you can become more efficient. Because what we sometimes do is we spend a lot of time on social media seeing what other people are doing, and then we get frustrated that other people seem to have a better life than we do. And that time that we were looking at that, we could have been putting a new system in place, like creating a video on how to make a balloon column so that somebody else could do that for you. Let's see, I'm looking through the other ones real quick to see if I have another specific one. For those of you who feel underworked, then that's where you put in a plan of, okay, my goal is I need to have X number of dollars a month in sales. And the way I'm going to do it is, the clients that I like to work with are birthday parties of this age group, and then create that plan to get in front of those people on a regular basis. And it means you have to step out of your comfort zone and actually start on a regular basis, picking up the phone, going out in person, and using the internet to market to. So many people think that just by putting up a great website and SEO is always going to do it for you, but oftentimes you still need to have that personal touch of those direct emails, those direct phone calls, and those in-person meetings. And that's why our Balloon Boss Mastermind program has all of that information for you in our masterclass series. So I want to make sure I address the top things that I've seen people say so far. But what I would love for you guys to do is to open up your mic, and somebody who is overwhelmed that feels comfortable walking through the situation that you're currently in, and maybe let us help you define a couple of goals or action steps. I would love to do that with you. So if there's somebody willing to do that, feel free to open up your mic and we can help you out in walking through that. Or if you're a person that is feeling like you don't have enough work, you can open up your mic and tell us about your current situation, like what you've done so far to market, what is working and what's not working. And then we can help you with a couple of other tangible action steps that you can take. And everybody's being quiet. So you can type it into the chat if for some reason you're not able to talk, or you can simply open up your mic. Everybody's being quiet. All right. So, one of the things that for those of you who are overworked is that, oh, you missed the question. All right. So, the question is if there's somebody on that would like to go ahead and problem solve for us and like share your situation, we can then live help you brainstorm ways to get past where you're currently at. So, whether it's that you're overworked or that you're underworked, you can open up your mic and tell us your specific situation, and we can help you through a couple of those steps. One of the questions I just got is how do you motivate yourself and your team? So part of that is leadership training, one of which can come from being at Balloon Boss Balloon Boss Summit in Orlando, or being in Mastermind and hearing how other people are doing it. You've got to realize how you get motivated, all right? Because everybody's different. Some people are motivated by money. Some people are motivated by praise and feeling like they're a part of something important. Other people are just motivated because they're around somebody who's smiling and happy, right? Everybody's personality is different and everybody learns differently. So one of the things that you want to do is you want to honestly take an evaluation. There's what's called the DISC assessment. That is one of the tools that can help you out. And actually, if you look online too, you can look up different personality quizzes. But to understand how you're motivated, right? And to understand that oftentimes you, as the owner of your business, are going to be motivated in a different way than your staff are. 99% of the time, you're never going to find an employee who is going to take sole responsibility for your business and treat your customers exactly like you would. Liz Romani is the top person that I think of when I think of an employee who treats the company she works for like it's her own. And for those of you who haven't met Liz Romani, she's one of our marketing mentors for Balloon Boss Mastermind, and she's been an instructor for me for years at Summit. And she's like the Energizer bunny. It seems like she is never without energy to keep moving forward. And so what you have to look at is, are you a person that you need outside people to praise you to be motivated? Is it money that motivates you? Like, do you have a certain goal? I know several people that the reason they keep trying to go for higher sales is they always want to push the level. Like they get bored at status quo. Like, hey, we can do $10,000 months. Let's go to the next level. They want to see what that next level is and always being an entrepreneurial spirit and reaching for it. So kind of knowing what your actual makeup is really important, right? For me, my motivation was that I had to help pay for our house. My husband is a teacher in Florida. He doesn't make enough income to sustain all of our family bills, and definitely doesn't make enough income for us to travel and to be able to go see family and things like that. So my motivation as a business owner was to make sure I make that income so that we don't get evicted. That's a pretty strong motivation. For some people who only have to make like $500 a month or maybe $1,000 a month, sometimes it's a little bit harder for them to make that amount of money because it's not a big number. Sometimes it doesn't feel challenging. Or other times if you have a business and it's just kind of like your little side hustle, sometimes it's hard to get motivated. So you really want to look again at your personality and what motivates you, and know that the team is not always going to be motivated the same way. And so there are, like I said, the DISC assessment that you can do, or there are other assessments online that you can have your employees take. And then there's also like even like the tests that are like love languages, right? So like if you're in a marriage, you can find out what the other person's love language is. Like, do they, is the love language that the person does stuff for you? Is it that you need somebody to say, I love you? Or is it that you need affection, like to be touched and hugged and high-fived? Or you person that wants gifts, right? So those are different ways to look at it too. Sometimes people are used to hearing about love languages. And so understanding how your staff are each motivated helps, because you may have one person that you just need to say, high five, way to go, Susie. Congratulations for making that sale. That's awesome. where other people need to know, you know what, if our company doesn't have any accidents, nobody drives into anybody, nobody slips and falls at work, we don't do any destruction on an event, we don't damage any of our inflators. If we have a good month, then each month you're going to get a $25 gift card. That might motivate them. David Mahoney, he had it in his workshop, that he has like games for people to play on break time, and he has an actual break space for his people to go and hang out. Many times he takes his staff out on outings to do team building, where they might go bowling or to a movie together. I know Belinda Barrier has taken her team to go get their nails done. She's also baked them things. So you kind of have to get to know your people and how they're motivated so that you can speak their language to help. Great, great question. So I'm overworked at a retail store and underworked with balloon deliveries. I want more deliveries and less retail. Awesome. So then the number one thing that you want to do is look at your website to see if you are putting it out to the world and through your content online that people are being able to find balloon decor and balloon decor deliveries. And it could be that you're wanting it to be make and take items. I know that Sarah Meyer just did a really good podcast on this the other day. If you were with the Bright Balloon, she did a great podcast on being able to add make and take delivery items so that you don't have to actually deliver them yourself, but like on a certain day of the week, the clients come in and take those items away. So with you having a retail space, that might be part of it too, is decreasing the actual like party supplies that you have and increasing the amount of balloon designs that are available for people. One of our mastermind members the other day told me that she had sent out an email to several schools and hadn't heard back, but then she did another follow-up again and then landed 3 accounts. So I think sometimes with our marketing, we will do one thing and then like if we don't hear anything, we just think it's done, but we forget that like emails don't always go through. Sometimes we don't get the right person on the phone. So marketing typically takes at least 7 touches for someone to be able to respond and buy from you. So when you're in a situation where you're changing what you are providing to your customer, then what you need to do is understand you're going to have to do a huge campaign and you're going to need a plan and write it out. Like, how are we going to let our customer know what we do now, right? And who can we refer our people to get the other stuff that we aren't going to do anymore? And then that person that you're referring those people to for the stuff you don't do anymore, let them know, hey, we're referring people to you for the paper goods because we don't do that anymore. But what we specialize in balloon decor. So when they need really awesome balloons, send them our way, right? And then the other main thing when you're trying to expand your decor, it's all about relationships. People do business with those they know, like, and trust. And so in our Balloon Boss Mastermind program under Masterclass Series, one of the things is the referral partner scripts and the list of referral partners for you to reach out to. I encourage you tonight to go into your dashboard because the person I'm talking to I know is in Mastermind. And if you're not Mastermind yet, you can join tonight at BalloonCoach.com, click Mastermind. But you go into that dashboard, you go to that masterclass on referral partners, you download that paperwork, and then you write down those people that you're going to reach out to. And then you make a SMART goal of how many can you realistically reach. Are you doing 5 contacts a day that you're going to call out to? Is it that you can do 10 in a week? What realistically can you do? And when you can build those quality, and I call it fishing with a net, when you can build quality referral partners who are always working with your target clients, you are fishing with a net rather than fishing with a pole and trying to go after the individual person. So getting those referral partners who are already working with your clients in the venues that you want to work with and the other professionals that work with events, they're already working with people spending money. And so you need to let them know that you're the go-to person when those people want balloons, because balloons are more popular and needed than ever in the world. Guys, this is the most amazing time for the balloon industry. We're on TV all the time on commercials. We're on TV all the time now on regular TV stations and in movies. Thank you, Balloons by Tommy. I see their work on TV all the time. And take advantage of this time and make sure that the right people know that you're servicing them through having great content on your website so they find you online, having a great marketing plan where you're reaching out to people on a regular basis. So, um, awesome. Fudge just put in a great quiz to help with what motivates you. I'm going to copy that real quick and I'm going to put that in my notes. All right. Thank you. Let me see. I'm just putting this into my email right now just so you guys see that. So, new email. Paste. Motivate. And Joe. All right. All right. So, guys, feel free to open up your mic if you want to ask you. So another person just messaged that they feel like balancing their work life and kids is getting harder, working with a spouse. And here's the thing, guys, it can get pretty crazy. And so it's really important to have open communication. So for the people who were asking earlier about like how do you motivate yourself and the people you're working with, open communication. One of the best I've seen it that is when I was on tour one year and went to Diana Gladden's house, and she's in Knoxville, Tennessee, above the rest balloon and event designs, and she had regular staff meetings with her team. And what they would do is go over what they did the previous week and what things worked well and what things did not work well. And that's how she got all of her great paperwork with checklists. And so, for those of you who are talking about being overwhelmed in Mastermind, last week I shared a couple of forms with you guys on tracking your numbers to know how much time it takes you to make things and do things so that when people are calling, you know if you've overbooked at this point. And then also some checklists to use to make sure you're packing everything that you need for the event and the systems to do ahead of time to make sure you've got everything done. So those checklists are available for you guys. If you didn't see them, let me know and I will get those links to you guys. Um, Another question that came up is I struggle with last minute needing help and not sure how to delegate it. Like if you lean on those that offer to help, like friends, for those random jobs, how do you give them the right jobs that doesn't end up being more work for you? I had someone overinflate foil balloons and they popped, or use entire strips of U glue, and so you're just feeling like you're watching the money burn. Yeah, so it's a catch 22 that at some point you've got to bring those people in to help train them prior to you needing them. And so, one of the ways that I typically did that was during prom season. Is that during prom season, I knew I wanted to get things done as quickly and effectively as possible. So, I would usually have 4 to 6 people with me on those job sites. And I would be able to be like, hey, here's what we do. There's this, this, and this step. And I would walk people through what I needed them to do. And then you just have to go back and monitor. So, when you're on a larger job, your job is just to kind of be a crew leader and to continue monitoring people rather than actually doing any specific work. It's that you're directing the other people. But yeah, it's one of those hard things is because you've got to actually take time to train them on some of those things ahead of time, or they are going to pop your product for sure. Wow. Fudge did 17 columns in 1 hour today. That's awesome. Talk about being efficient. I love it. So, guys, what I want to do is, as I always do on our calls, is I like to allow people to be a part of the training that want to talk. And then for those who feel more comfortable talking it afterwards, then we turn off the recording. So what I'm going to do is just do a couple of invitations and then I'm going to turn off the recording and let my people who are on live talk more specifically about their situation. If you feel like you're alone in this process and you need help as you grow your business, I encourage you to come over to Balloon Boss Mastermind program. It is not a year commitment, it's a monthly payment. You start today, and then on this date, a month from now, you get charged again. If you don't want to stay in the program, all you do is cancel. It's that easy. But within the mastermind program, it gives you extra training and supports and guides, and gives you some of the words to use on your calls. It gives you tips and working with people and so much more. This summer, I will be on tour and doing 5-state teaching tour in Georgia, Tennessee, Missouri, Minnesota, and Illinois. All those details are at BalloonCoach.com under summer tour. We have a Taco Tuesday as a bonus thing happening in Atlanta. And then Gary Ledbetter, if you've been needing to get number frames bent, he will be joining me in Atlanta, Nashville, and Naperville. You have to arrange that with him in advance to have him come and do those bendings for you. But what I want to do is I want to make sure you know that in the future, if you need help growing your business and you're stuck, you can go into our Balloon Boss Mastermind program and ask questions, or you can always go on to BalloonCoach.com, and under Mastermind, there's a little thing that says 10-minute chat, and you can set up for a 10-minute conversation with me for me to help you go from stuck in a rut to moving to the next step. All right. We have a free blog on the website also that can help motivate you and encourage you from time to time. And you can always email me, joette@ballooncoach.com. I hope that these tips tonight have helped you. And again, as a thank you for all the people who are on live with me tonight, I'm going to turn off the recording and we're going to talk out your situations and mastermind them. Hope you have a wonderful day.